Having studied the role of government and the history of change in the British political system last time, what we're going to do now is look at the particular problems that existed in the British system before 1832. 1832 is the year of the Great Reform Act, which gave more middle-class men the vote and subsequently started the process of expanding the franchise, which has gone on since this date to include women in 1928 and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do now is look at those particular things. So retrieval task is linking back to the previous lesson. What is constituency? A ballot box, the three parts that make up government and who can vote today, and the green pen work that students can undertake. Then what I want you to do is read the article to identify problems in the system in 1832. You'll find that you're looking at a system that in some ways is familiar and in other ways it's very, very different. The extension task there to rank the problems in order of importance and explain the reasons for your choice. So then we look at how Britain is governed, this concept of constituencies, whereby areas of Britain are broken down into roughly areas of equal population. So where we have more constituencies, those are the more urban areas. And you'll see that this map reflects where those population centres were during the Industrial Revolution. We live down here, the constituencies are bigger because obviously you need bigger areas to include more people. But Plymouth, quite densely populated down there, has a few constituencies. So what was a rotten borough? Because this is what was wrong with the constituencies. The problem is that many of these constituencies were old constituencies where people had used to live but no longer lived. And subsequently places where people now were living in the new cities of the Industrial Revolution, like Birmingham and Manchester, didn't have any representation. But of course, the very people that were going to be expected to make these changes, the ruling classes, were the very people who had a vested interest in not making those changes. So rotten boroughs were a contentious issue for people who felt that they didn't have a say in Parliament. So what was wrong with the voting system before 1832? Then we move on and we're going to expand knowledge now. Now we have a straightforward task here and a slightly more advanced task. We like them to watch Blackadder, Dish and Dishonesty, which deals with political corruption and all the ills of the system before 1832. There is quite simply the task here of reviewing all the problems that were wrong with the system and adding that to the earlier mind map that was started, or there is a bespoke worksheet that goes with this particular task. I leave it to your discretion based upon the ability of your class. Task 4, what changes would you recommend to making politics fairer today? And explain your reasons for these recommendations. Our next lesson will be focusing on the role of the Chartists, one of the groups that helped bring about more change to the political system.